I think, coming into the month of May, we knew that it was going to be a congested schedule. We were going to call on a lot of players. I think we've been able to see a lot of contributions from a lot of guys, but at the same time, continue to learn and grow with each game. Each game's kind of had its own unique challenges, so it's really been, I would say, a fun opportunity for the whole group to kind of bond together and attack them with short turnarounds, and couldn't be prouder of the way the group has performed. But at the same time, we constantly work at staying in neutral with our mindset and sticking to how we prepare for each opponent. And that doesn't change with a team as good as Columbus, a team that you have to prepare thoroughly for. The club as a whole, Columbus is one of the teams that have had sustained success in this league. I think a lot of teams look up to them. I know we certainly do. And then from a coach to a coach, I think Wilfred's a top coach in this league. The way that they play, the challenges that they present week to week. So we've got our hands full, but we have a healthy respect for Columbus, and we're going to go out and compete for 90 minutes like we always do.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Ben and go down the line and go ahead and ask 2 questions if you have them.
Yeah, you obviously just talked about Wilfred and kind of the way he sets up. What are some of the key? I mean, it might be hard to kind of break it down quickly, but what are some of the key things that his team does that you have to watch out for?
Yeah, I mean, I think his team, the guiding principle from what we see from them is like their ability to change tempos in the game, right? They can attract you. They have a very good job of attracting, getting numbers around, and then when you start to initiate your press, they can pick the speed up and then exploit you. Now, we don't have enough time to go into how they can exploit you because they can do it in multiple ways, whether it's behind the back line, through the lines, quick combination plays, switching the point of attack. So they're, again, a really well-coached team, a team with a lot of talent, and a lot of talent that's been together for a while. So it's a cohesive group, and we know we'll get their best punch coming at a home game for them, and we have to go on the road with a mindset that we want to get 3 points.
And then I just wanted to ask quickly about Tate Schmidt. You just brought him in pretty recently. What are you hoping to see from him just contributing to the group? And does his signing indicate anything about how long Taylor might be out?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously the signing is linked to Taylor being out. That's no surprise. We expect Taylor, to probably be in somewhere an 8 to 12 week recovery process. So we just thought it was prudent we had flexibility to do. So Tate's a player that has experience in this league. He's obviously been out off the team for a little while, so it's about acclimating him at the right way, not only physically but tactically to how we want to do things. Almost kind of giving him a mini preseason. A lot of guys have had that opportunity, so to just give him a little bit of a mini preseason, and for us, it's just we're not in any rush to do that. We feel confident in our group, and I think Tate's done a good job in the short time he's here to kind of acclimate well, and we'll continue to do that.
Right.
Being able to get a positive result on the road, how can that help you this week?
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about how we want to go on away trips and win the game. I know that's kind of cliche, but we're a team that wants to chase 3 points each time. So to be able and go do it, it builds confidence in the group. We always say the best way to build confidence is do what you say you're going to do. And so when we say we want to do it and we actually accomplish it, it just builds a stronger. It strengthens our belief that we already have.
BJ, I guess, what do you feel you can take from just looking at kind of what Columbus has built in last few years? Obviously, your playing styles, your approach are going to be different from them. But I guess what do you feel you can look at and say, hey, this is what they maybe do well?
Yeah, for me, they're a team that I study just for fun a lot. So I think the way that they're able to create overloads, the way they're able to be closely connected, in their build-up. There's a lot of little nuances that they coach there that I think again, all good coaches steal from other good coaches. So I feel like I've taken plenty from Wilfred. He's proven success in this league. So for us it's again it's about, can you take some of the ideas, but for us we still are uniquely Nashville, and we still have our way of playing. We're confident in our way of playing, and we don't plan to change the way we do it. We kind of try to keep it as a consistent approach.
And, you've obviously, talked about, just how congested the schedule has been in May, but, with having, games pretty consistently every 3-4 days, do you feel like there's some benefit in having that kind of routine?
Yeah, I mean, I think any routine's a good one. So whether it's the Saturday to Saturday and we have that process on how we want to prepare and perform, that's great. And then the consistency of this one it's still good. We just have to do it a little bit differently. You can't spend as much time on the field, so we're just more diligent and more detailed with the time spent in the video room and in meetings. But we don't change the way we approach each opponent and the level of detail that we want to go into it. Just maybe how we deliver the information is done a little bit differently.
Coach, what impresses you most about this unbeaten streak and the way your guys have found a way to get results?
Yeah, I think we talk about trying to stay neutral and consistent, and we've been searching from the beginning can we just continue to put consistent performances together. And so the good thing is we get to play every 3 days, so we get to kind of build on those performances. But I just really am proud of the group on how consistent they've remained in the way that they perform, the way that they've prepared, the way that they've recovered, and then how everybody's making contributions. And this congested period has given us that opportunity to do it, and I think we've responded really well.
With that first goal Sam scored Saturday, it kind of seemed like Honey really didn't have a bad angle in the box, and like maybe in the past he would have taken that shot himself. Have you seen kind of the group as a whole lean toward that really unselfish play that it seems like they've executed in the final third?
Yeah, I mean, I think we take pride in making the right decisions, and also using the filter of like making your teammates shine. That's what we're all about. So for us, that selflessness, when that comes on display, we want to highlight that, and we take great pride in lifting each other up. And you saw that. That goal's a great example of upgrading our scoring chance to somebody that's in a better one. The name on the back of the jersey doesn't matter. The scoreboard with Nashville in the lead and getting 3 points is what matters for all of us.
We'll go to John Glennon on the Zoom.
Jay, as you're approaching the halfway point here of a very successful season so far, wonder if you could talk about maybe 2 or 3 things that you had learned last year, in an abbreviated time with the team that have helped you this year so far.
Yeah, I mean, we are only at the halfway point, so I don't think we're at the point where we want to judge whether it's successful or unsuccessful. And I think I use that comment as a linking to what we learned is, we're a group that started this season with a blank slate for everybody. We had a lot of turnover, a lot of change inside the organization with the players. And, we made a commitment to each other that we were just going to turn every page of this sort of chapter 6. And so we don't try to get ahead of ourselves. We try to live, sort of in the moment here, and each page is each day. And like we talked about, and we have the process on how we want to do it. And I think, we've learned, and I think some of the success that we're having in the early part of this season is showing that approach is a good one for us. And we just want to continue to stay focused on that for Columbus. And then, as we move through the end of the week, get an opportunity to play at home in front of our fans in Geodis. And then, as we move forward into the second half of the season.
And one other I wanted to ask about Ahmed. I know he had the tough half a few weeks ago against Seattle and wound up sitting out the rest of that game. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what you have seen from him since, and kind of also how much you're enjoying maybe the depth and the competition that he and Schaffelberg give you.
Yeah, I think it's very clear what we've seen from Ahmed is a lot of growth and learning. It's not easy for a young player to move to this country and have to assimilate back basically on the field and off the field. I think he's done a great job, working hard every day. And then he has that opportunity in the Orlando game and played great. I thought he came in the Toronto game and made a really big impact. And so he's responding to however the role and responsibility that he's called on. We expect that to continue. That's the expectation. But again, a player who works hard at his craft and again continues to take in information and continues to learn and grow.
Okay.
I'm curious what you saw from Walker in his journey to get back, and maybe how it exemplified along the way just what he means to this group.
Yeah, I mean, I think the concussion is obviously a difficult thing to pinpoint because you don't really control. There's no blueprint on how you come back from it. So what I just saw was a real resilience, and when we see that sort of resilience and relentlessness from him, he's embodying some of our values. And it doesn't always have to be on the field, but his approach to just trying to get better, exhaust all options, to get himself right and through concussion protocol. I thought it was a tremendous for us in the building just to kind of see his commitment to one of those values. I think inspires all of us, and kind of I think when you see people doing it, it's an easier behavior to model than just maybe words on a paper.